So this lesson is going to teach you how to draw and create things using numbers. This could be a fun assignment, and you can make so many different things just based off of the form of one number. So we're going to start with the number 1 today. So I'm going to go ahead on my paper and make a number 1. Sometimes you can make a number 1 with a straight line, and that's fine too. Today I'm going to make this number 1 where it has the kind of the flag on the top and the base for the bottom. And I'm going to turn that number 1 into a sailboat. So I'm just going to come down with some curves at the bottom of that number 1. I'm going to put my sailboat in some water. Okay. At the top of my sailboat, I'm actually going to make my sail a little bit longer. This one's going to come in right here, and then it's going to come down and attach to my base of my boat. Okay. On the side of the boat, I'm going to add a few portholes. And maybe just another little flag coming off on this side of the boat, like so. Okay, so that is one way to make a sailboat. Using the number 2 next. So for my number 2, I'm going to start with my number form, just like that. And then I'm going to add some details. For my number 2, I'm going to make a duck. So I'm going to start by giving my duck an eyeball. Okay. At the base of the 2, I'm going to give it a couple of tail feathers. Okay. For the head, it's just going to curve around and then come back down like so. My duck is going to need a beak and a wing. My wing kind of looks like a number 3. And then once again, I'm going to go ahead and add some water so it looks like my duck is doing a little bit of swimming. Okay. So that's my number 2 artwork. All right, for the number 3, I'm going to start with my number. This time I'm going to make the number 3 into a monkey. So I'm going to, at the base of my 3, curl this part in. That's going to be like the leg of the monkey. My monkey's going to have a tail that comes up in the back. Okay. I'm going to give him a little ear. He'll have a face that curves around right here on the 3. And then this is where his fur kind of curves into the face area. I'm going to give him a dot for a nose, a little bit larger dot for an eye up there, and then he'll have just half of his smile showing on this side. Okay. The next thing he'll need is a little tummy, and then you can actually draw the little legs sticking out up here in the front. Okay. And just like that, I have a tiny little monkey. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually make the monkey tail curve around too. Okay. So my number 3 is a monkey today. The number 4, so for my number 4, sometimes you make a number 4 where it's open at the top. I'm actually going to close mine off at the top. So my number 4 is going to look like that today. Okay, sometimes we have it open at the top, and that's okay too. So for mine, I'm going to start with the number 4. I'm going to curve this part around. I'm going to give it a few little fins up here because I'm making a fish. And another fin down towards the bottom. Okay, I'm going to do a few little detail lines back here on this fin. And you can even have a few motion lines like it's swishing in the water. Okay, now my fish is going to need a few little lips here, so I'll just do a number 3 right there to make my fish lips. I'm going to give him an eye. And then I just get to add some detail work. So at this point I'm going to do some scales. And a few little water bubbles going up. And just like that, the number 4 has turned into a fish. All right, I'm really excited to do the number 5, and I think I'm going to need just a little bit more room for my number 5. So I'm going to draw it down here for my form to start with. My number 5 is going to be a koala bear. So to start off my koala bear, I'm going to close off this number 5 right here. This is going to make the head to my koala bear. So I'm going to do a big oval nose right in the center, and then just a couple of circles on the side for my koala's eyes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and color in some pupils inside of those as well. Okay, I'm going to give my koala some big ears. They kind of look like Mickey Mouse ears. Like so. Oh, those are really not even. Maybe I can make that one a little bit bigger. It's the joys of drawing live. Sometimes you make mistakes. So I am going to make that one a little bit bigger, and since it kind of shows through, I think I'll just cheat a little bit and give it a little bit of ledge around those ears so they look about the same. Okay, so then on that ledge, I'm going to do just a little bit of fur because koalas have some furry ears inside. Okay, so my next step on my number 5, I'm going to draw his arm like he's holding on to a tree. And the arm just kind of curves in like this. You could even give him a couple of little claws. And then the leg is going to curve in as well. Okay, so here's an arm, and then here's kind of like the leg or the knee area, and that curves down into the foot. And I'm going to give him a couple of claws coming out on the foot. Okay, and up on the paw, I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, there you go. Next step is going to be to give him just a little bit of a smile peeking out down here. And I'm going to color that in. Not a very big smile, but just a little bit. And then lastly, I'm going to draw a tree, like he's hanging onto a tree. So I'm just going to make a line that comes down here, and another line that comes down over here. And then I'm just going to kind of draw some lines, like he's just holding on over here. This just kind of gives the texture of the tree. And that is my number 5 koala bear. Number 6 is going to be a dog. So I'm going to start with the base number 6, okay? And I'm going to turn that into a dog by adding a few things. I'm going to do a collar right up here on the top of the number 6. And his front legs will come down with a little paw. Okay. And that one will have some claws on it. So I'm going to do his back leg just kind of peeking out right here with a couple of claws. I'm going to give my dog a tail. Now your tail can look several different ways. I'm going to make mine kind of a shaggy tail because my dog at home has a shaggy tail. Well, one of them does. One of them doesn't have a tail at all. Then we're ready to do the head for our dog. So for the head, it's going to come up with a dog's snout. That will curve up to his head. And then you can do pointed ears if you want, or you can do droopy ears. My dog's going to have some droopy ears today, so I'm just going to curve that around. Give him a cute little nose and a few little freckles here. Okay. And then he needs an eye. So I'm going to draw an oval and just color in a little dot right there. I'm even going to give him a little eyebrow. He's kind of curious. Now if you want to, you can even do a little line for a mouth with a dog tongue hanging out. Okay. I'm going to add just a little circle right here and color in a little dog tag on his collar. So that is the number 6. It makes a dog. All right, for the number 7. This one's a fun one. Let's see, I'm going to start with my number 7. And on my number 7, I'm going to give it some spikes along this side. To make those spikes, it's just zigzag shapes. Okay, like that. I'm going to add a tail over here. And with that tail, I'm going to do a few more spikes coming up the back, like that. Eyeballs will go right up here on top. This is going to curve in and back out and back in. And that kind of makes a mouth area. So on this mouth area, I'm going to give it a nose, and then I'm going to give it some sharp teeth. Okay, I might even do one down here on the bottom too. Okay, so now I'm ready to draw a belly. Belly kind of curves around like this. I'm going to do another curve here with a foot on the bottom that comes back to connect to the tail. Okay, and you can give that some long claws if you want to. Okay, then I'm going to give a teeny tiny arm right here with some long claws. Okay, and then a teeny tiny arm right here with some long claws. And my number 7 has now become a T-Rex. Okay, oh, I could even do, this might make him a little more balanced if I put a leg peeking out on the back side too. Okay, so there's my number 7 T-Rex. Next is number 8. So for the number 8, I'm going to try to make a neat one if I can. I always make sloppy number 8s. I'm going to give at the top of this number 8 a bear nose. Put just a couple little bear eyes right above it. And I'm going to come around with a circle. Ears are pretty simple. They're just half circles on each side. Okay. I'm going to give my bear a body, some arms, a belly button, and a couple of legs. And just like that, my number 8 has become a bear. Okay. Your challenge is to see what you can create for numbers 9 and 10. So I'm not going to give you an example. I want you to come up with something unique on your own. What could a 9 look like and what could a 10 look like? You may also draw these. So on your paper, you're going to draw these samples for each number and then create your own image for number 9 and number 10. Once again, this was a fun time of just drawing with numbers. I can't wait to see what you guys create. I hope you're enjoying your day at home.